Does your spouse or significant other confront you about things that you don't do? Do you find yourself on the defensive? Do you find yourself trying to prove your innocence and you don't know where these accusations are coming from? Well, if you've been there or you're there right now, you'll want to watch this video to understand the actual situation that you're dealing with. Hi friends, Ashley Berges back today, and today I want to talk about and address the connection between projection and the inability to have self-awareness. Okay, this is a big deal because when we project onto other people, the reason we project is because we are not self-aware, okay? And so let's talk about what is projection. Okay, projection is unconsciously taking unwanted emotions, traits, actions, the stuff that we don't feel great about, right? The things that we don't like about ourselves, the things we want to sweep under the rug, the things we want to act like never happened, taking that stuff and putting it on someone else. Because you don't want to acknowledge it, you don't want to even deal with its existence. So why do people do this? Why do people project? Well, I think that most often people project because they don't want to take responsibility for what took place. They don't want to even acknowledge what took place. Also, if it has to do with traits or emotions, they don't want to uncover or do the work to figure out where that's coming from or why it's there. And so that way, when they project onto the other person, when they're projecting on them, they keep the other person in the defensive mode and under constant scrutiny, okay? Instead of putting the flashlight or the spotlight upon them. So who does projection? Who actually engages in this type of activity? Well, okay, first off, people with little or no self-awareness practice projection, right? It's a defense mechanism, right? It's great. It's a defense mechanism, and it allows the other person to be on deck all the time instead of the person that's projecting, right? Because a lot of times we fall prey into that. When somebody says that we're a bad person, or we're a cheat, or we're a liar, or we're mean, or we're selfish, or we're lazy, we come back fighting because we're not. We're defending ourselves, we're defending our innocence, right? But that's part of it, right? But you know, another thing too is that I feel that people that actually engage in this type of activity, they do it because they don't want to accept their reality. They don't want to accept the fact that that happened. They don't want to accept the fact that they cheated. They don't want to accept the fact that they lied. They don't want to accept the fact of any of that because they don't want to deal with it. They can't deal with it. They can't come to grips with it, okay? Because it's too overwhelming. So they unconsciously put it on other people, right? And that's why sometimes when somebody's projecting on you, actually that's why all the time when someone's projecting on you, it's coming out of left field and you don't know what's really happening, but because of that, you react instead of seeing the fact that this is a projection. So how do we stop projection? How do we stop it? How can we curtail it? How can we be aware of when we're doing it? And so the beginning to open up our minds and to open up our consciousness and to understand what we're unconsciously doing is to actually create honest self-awareness. And that's about doing an inventory of your thoughts. It's about accepting the things that you are unhappy about. It's getting right with the fact that some of us, and we've all done things that we're not proud of, but it's about being able to overcome that, forgive it, and really work through that. And that's what self-awareness is being self-aware of how I feel, what I'm thinking, the thoughts that are in my head, being aware of what I've done, not trying to disassociate, not trying to lie to myself, but to accept that. And the other thing is that we have to learn that projection, to me, is actually kind of abuse. And I don't know if many people have said this before, but I really think that when somebody is constantly projecting on another person, whether it's conscious or unconscious, because I think you can do conscious projection to basically put the spotlight on someone else, right? Because that's what it does. I mean, to some degree, you know the truth, right? To some degree, we all know the truth. We can sit there and lie to ourselves and say we don't, but to some degree we do. And so I feel that When people project on other people constantly over and over again, whether it's conscious or unconscious, I find it abuse. If it's consciously being done, it's definite abuse. It's mental abuse, it's gaslighting, it's manipulation, okay? It just is. Because it takes the person to defend themselves. First off, they react, then they defend, and then the person that's projecting on that other person gets off scot-free because the other person's just trying to prove their innocence. And it causes the circular logic again. Okay, so I find that this is abuse. If you are going through this in your relationship and your spouse or significant other is projecting on you, I ask the question, how are you dealing with this? How do you reinforce the fact that they are projecting upon you? Do you call it out? Sometimes that can work very, very efficiently, but you have to know when something is projection. Because I think that projection is a form of manipulation. I believe that projection is a form of gaslighting. Have you called it out? And then what has happened if you have called it out in a sincere way? Hey, you know what? This isn't even mine to defend. I've done no such thing. This is you projecting on me. Okay, this is your life, your emotions, your past transgressions being projected upon me, and I don't appreciate this, and I don't deserve it. Okay, straight up. I think we have to call it out sometimes. I actually think that we have to be honest in all of our words and deeds, not try to placate the situation, not keep carrying out the cycle pattern of you project on me, I get angry, we fight, we make up, you project on me, we fight, we get angry, I react, we make up, and then you tell me about how I fought badly, even though I'm being projected upon. So we have to stop that cycle pattern, okay? And so if you're willing to do this now, the next time that you find yourself being projected upon is calling it out. This is not my issue, okay? I believe that this is something that you're harboring. When are you going to be ready to accept that and be honest with me? Because I deserve honesty. I hope this video has helped you. If you've liked it, please give us a like. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. You can also join the channel also for other content that's just for members only, which is great. As well as if you have a comment to add to this, if you've dealt with projection, if you've called it out in a certain way, how has it worked for you? Have they gotten more angry? Have they gotten more volatile? Have they tried to push you even more? Have they gotten quiet? Have they given you the silent treatment? Or has anybody actually come to terms with the truth and said, you're right, I am projecting? I'm interested in hearing from you. And don't forget to live your true life.